wasn't doing it just for me.
And because of recovery, this moment of clarity, going to the bar.
I love that.
They say that cousins are your first best friends, and mine were no exception. We were raised more like sisters and did everything together as kids. We were always at each other's houses. We would have sleepovers all the time. We knew each other's deepest, darkest secrets. Christina and I were definitely the most alike. We were loud. We were funny. We would always say what was on our minds. We actually even looked alike. We also knew how to have a good time, which is something we would struggle with and get us into trouble even as adults. When that 3 a.m. call came in, I thought it might be Christina. She was a waitress working late hours, and we had been making plans back and forth. I was also a night owl, so it wouldn't be completely strange for me to pick up that late. But when the call coming in was from my younger cousin Alex, I still actually immediately didn't get nervous. Being Amy A, I'm actually at the very top of everybody's contact list, so I frequently get butt dialed at all hours of the night from random people. But when another call came in from my sister Gina, it was at that time I knew that I was officially getting one of those dreaded middle-of-the-night phone calls that everybody fears. You know, those sounds that you hear that you can just instantly replay in your mind. For me, one of those sounds was my sister's childlike tone, like a kid trying to fight through the tears to say the words, "Christina's dead." In that moment, a complete wave of emotion came over me, but it was numbness. I immediately went into autopilot and joined the rest of my family at my aunt's house, but everything was so surreal. When the sun came up, we decided to go to my grandmother's house as a family to tell her the news. Standing there in the kitchen, still in a daze, with my head in my hands, I remember listening attentively over everybody's sobs and hearing my aunt, Cristina, say muerte, followed by this enormous guttural wail that came out of my tiny Spanish grandmother. Another one of those noises that your brain won't let your heart forget. I grieved like anybody else would. I was mad, I was sad, I was angry. I was mad again. Some days were worse than others, but Christina had lost her battle with addiction, but I was battling the fact that on so many occasions, I was just one bad decision away from being in her shoes. Christina seemed to have a grip on her disease, but even in and out of active addiction, I would ask her if she wanted to go to meetings. In my small-minded scope of recovery and the recovery process, meetings were what kept people clean. But she would often decline. She would say, meetings just aren't my thing. And unfortunately, Christina never found her thing. But that happens to so many people. I was well-versed and educated about the disease of addiction, but never about the recovery and the recovery process, or the multiple pathways to recovery. The 12 steps are amazing, and they work for so many, but there are so many pathways out there that people can choose. There isn't just one way to recover, and no two people recover the same. Today, I'm fulfilled educating people about the multiple pathways to recovery with the work that I do. And who knows what would have happened if I knew then what I know now. But I like to think that Christina's up there, looking down, proud of the work we're doing, and proud of me.